Life has always been quite a mystery to me. I feel very lucky to be alive, to live the life that I do, even when things aren't so perfect or aren't even so good, like currently. But I've always questioned what I want to do, who I want to be, where I want to go, where I want to live. When I was little, I had big dreams, big dreams all my life. Never really knew what kind of career I wanted to work in, but I always dreamed that I'd travel the world and settle down in like Hawaii or something, somewhere tropical, somewhere beautiful. Then I got older and learned the realities of everything and, like all the bad things of life in general, but more specifically like the tourism problems in Hawaii and that kind of stuff. So it's like kind of a problem, I guess. But I also learned that it's not very simple to just decide I want to live in so and so and that's what I'm going to do. You have to have money and career and you got to be able to pay for things, especially a place to live. And that's been a dream of mine for a long time, to just have my own place to live, to finally just feel like I have a home that is my own, not my parents, not a roommate, not, you know, whatever, just my own place to live. And still have not got there yet. Hopefully someday. But it's always been a mystery because nowadays I wonder how I'm ever going to reach that goal, that dream, that I don't even want to call it a possibility because everything is kind of up in the air in general in life. Nothing is ever really guaranteed, or just you never know what could happen. You never know where you might go. Blessings can come from anywhere, you know. I could win the lottery tomorrow and then all my problems would be solved, but the likelihood of that happening is very low. And so instead, I wonder what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get there, how I'm gonna figure this out, make this work out, make my life worth living. Just wonder and wonder. And I guess it's a bit of trial and error. Go to work at different places and find something that fits and run with it or something. I don't know because I haven't figured it out yet, but that seems to be what happens. But I don't know. I feel like I'm surrounded by so much negativity, so much, I don't know if suffering is the right word, but unhappy people everywhere. And that's not uncommon. Emotions are regular. It's normal to be unhappy about things. But every job I've worked, everybody that I work with seems to just despise it, despise their life that they live. And it's kind of heartbreaking in a sense, in a way, you know, kind of demotivating to another degree of like, what's the point if everyone around me is miserable? Why would I want to stay here, there, whatever? Just seems counterintuitive, counterproductive, waste of time, waste of life. And I feel like I've wasted a lot of my life and I'm kind of tired of it. Kind of tired of feeling like I'm wasting my time and wasting my life and my energy and my efforts. And yet, day after day, I seem to continue over and over and over, just kind of living the same days, same cycles, same problems, different environments, house to house. Never left the city, not permanently at least, but just everywhere I go, different jobs, same bitterness, same negativity, same just I guess, yeah, just bitterness, just everywhere I go, surrounded by negativity, surrounded by demotivation and sadness. And it just, the older I get, the more I wonder how do you do it? How do you just keep going, doing the same thing with no change, hoping that it'll get better or something? I don't know. I think of my coworkers, my old coworkers, when I talk about this and how much they just seemingly hated life, hated their life, hated everything that they had to do to keep their life afloat. And I guess that's kind of what it boils down to is you can't really just stop. If you stop, your whole life could fall apart in an instant. It could easily, easily just crumble and you lose everything you've worked for, lose everything you've worked towards. And so I guess I'm lucky to be in a position that that's not really a possibility. I mean, not to say my life can't fall apart in an instant. It kind of has been lately, but it comes up and down. But I'm not really in a position of like bills that I can't afford or kids that I can't raise or that kind of thing. Like I'm pretty good to just figure my life out, but it's daunting and it's slow and it's tiring as all could be, you know. By no means do I want to just give up, but I sometimes I wish there was like a guidebook, like a manual of lost in life. Where do you go? What do you do? Don't know what you want to do for a career? Read this book and find something. Or, I don't know. I just, sometimes I wish things were simpler, I guess. But if things were simple, it would take the fun out of life. The complexity of life is kind of the excitement, the unknown, the ever changing. Something beautiful about it, something to appreciate about it, even in the darkest times and the scariest moments when you really don't know where your life might be headed. Isn't that kind of the fun? You know, you don't know where you might be tomorrow. You don't know what you might be doing, who you might be seeing. I don't know. I try to keep my head on straight in that aspect. Try to keep my optimism. Excuse me. That was. I try to stay optimistic and realistic to a degree. Those don't really go hand in hand very well, but I try. I think my realism is kind of what holds me back many times. Is I'm a little too realistic, and it causes a lot of indecision, a lot of double takes, backing out of things. I think just a little too much, a little too long, maybe more like overthink, and then I shut it all down. But trying to live with my head's a bit more in the clouds, trying to live with a bit more optimism, a bit less realism, and I don't know. I can't really say it's been going well because nothing's really changed in a while. I've kind of just been stuck, but I feel better to a degree, you know, and I've kind of just been hoping, kind of just been, I don't want to say waiting because that sounds like I haven't been doing anything. And by some standards, I probably haven't been doing much. And to some people, it probably doesn't look like I've been doing anything, like my parents and others around me who don't see the efforts that I put in. And that's fine. I'm not one to talk myself up and talk about, oh, I did this and this and this and this and whatever. Like, it's fine. You can think what you want to think about me. You can believe what you want. It's whatever. I don't, I'm not one to argue or whatever. I Yes, I used to be. I used to love arguing. So my dad told me I should go to law school, join the debate team, etc. So I loved to argue, but anymore, I don't have the energy to argue with people, especially when it's about me and who I am or the things I do. If you think I'm a lazy bum, that's fine. I'm a lazy bum. Whatever, you know. I just I'm just here doing my thing, you know, figuring it out one day at a time. I have this belief in me or faith or wouldn't really call it a confidence, but I guess it's a hope that that things will work out in some way someday, preferably soon, that my life will be pieced together properly at some point in the future. I've kind of always had this hope or faith or belief or confidence, whatever you want to call it, because I've never known what I wanted to do with my life. I've never known where I want to go, who I want to be. I was lucky enough at one point in my childhood to go to Disney World down in Florida as a little family vacation with it was a strange point in time with my mom and her abusive ex-boyfriend who had a lot of money. So he took us to Disney World for, I don't know, like a week or something. I wish I could remember better, but I don't really remember much about that trip. But I do remember I was young enough to care, to see all of the different mascots, go see all my favorite Disney characters. And I think I had like an autograph book that I got signed and stuff by some of my favorite people. Random, I know, but I realized at that age, at that point, after that vacation, that I wanted to be a mascot. Like, I wanted to be that guy in costume, dress up and stand around. And, you know, that was my dream career for at least like a month when I don't know how old I was, but whatever age I was, that was my dream career. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be that guy. Because I mean, I'm smart enough to know that it's obviously not actually Stitch standing there in Disney World hugging me, talking to me, well, not talking to me, but whatever. I was smart enough to know that that's a guy in a costume, right? Just like at sport events, you got people in costumes for the halftime shows or whatever. I don't watch sports, sorry. Um, but I wanted to do that. I wanted to be that guy in the costume, dancing around, making a fool of myself, jumping on trampolines, whatever, because I saw the joy that it would bring to people. I saw the happiness that people felt, the kids and parents seeing their kids happy and like it's the most magical place on earth or whatever their slogan is or whatever. Um and I think it's in part due to those people that are putting those costumes on and standing around in the sun for hours a day, just putting on a show, making people happy, making people smile. And that's what I wanted to do. I realized once again, my realism kicked in, and I realized, like, that sounds awful. I don't want to dress up in a giant fur suit and stand around in the scorching hot sun of Florida for the rest of my life. That sounds miserable. I can only imagine. But I want to make people happy. I want to spread joy and love and kindness and whatever. Like, that's kind of the realization that I kind of came to is it was less about the costume, more about the feeling, the the light in such a dark world. And I don't think I had that realization when I was a kid. I think that was more as I grew up. You know, I've always I've always been realistic, but I think I grew up with my head in the clouds a little bit more. I think this negative realism came at a much younger or much older age, and I don't know. Sometimes I still think I could do good. Throw on a mascot costume. Don't have to talk to people because they're all silent. You just wave your hands and dance around and like even being like a sports mascot, like a basketball game or something. You don't have to stand around in the sun. You just go make a fool of yourself in a big costume. It sounds, I don't know, something about it sounds appealing to me. At another point in my life, I wanted to go to clown school. It was like 50% a joke, 50% a reality that I thought I would make a killing as a clown because, well, because I've always been one, not in the sense of like the funny kid or whatever, but just I'm a clown. My life is a joke, you know? So I think I'd make a killing if I got a little red nose, some big shoes. I think I could do a great job. But clowns are kind of creepy, so I've got a pretty bad rap, especially after that whole Halloween stunt thing. Doesn't really, you know, just not the best idea, I think. But also, I don't know where clown school is located. How am I going to pay for that? What do you even do? Learn how to ride a unicycle or something? Like, I'm sure if I put my mind to it, I could, but I got to afford it. And if I'm going to go into debt to go to school, I don't think being a clown is going to help me pay that off in the future. Just, again, that realistic side of my brain kind of makes me wonder, kind of makes me question. But that's kind of always been my life is questions, 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 questions. Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? What am I going to do? And now I'm 23 years old with no answers, just more questions and more doubts and more wondering what is going to happen. What is my future going to be? What does my future hold? Am I just kind of stuck drifting forever? That's not really possible. I can't just drift forever. I can't just exist for the rest of my life. It's not realistic. It's not viable. It's not good for me, for anybody for that matter. You need passion. You need hope. You need something to get you out of bed in the morning. You need something to work towards, something to strive for, and it's not so much that I don't have that. Like I said, I've always had lots of hopes and dreams and ideas of what I want my life to look like, but I've no idea how to get there. I never have. Hopefully, I will. I have this faith in me that things are going to work out somehow, some way, something is going to come along and point me in the right direction, some kind of divine interference or divine guidance or something. And maybe that's just, it's probably the most unrealistic thought I have in my head is that things will just work out for me. But at this point, I can't really think much else. I've just struggled for so long, so long, trying to put all the pieces together myself, trying to figure it all out. By no means am I giving up or anything of that sort. I'm kind of running out of options, I think. I kind of just am stuck again and again and again. Every turn in the road seems to be a new problem, a new issue, a new situation that I don't know how to handle. I don't know how to get through. It's just tiring. So I just have hope. I have faith. I have confidence that someday it's all going to be worth it. All of my struggles, all of my issues, all of my fighting will be worth it one day. And I'll be able to look back and laugh about how stupid I was or how sad I was or, you know, just someday I'll be happier. Someday I'll be in a place of my own with some sort of dream job, dream career, or whatever. I don't know when, but I just keep thinking, keep hoping, keep that faith alive that it'll happen. You know, I'm not getting any younger, but what else can I do? If I live my life in negativity and just constantly doubting myself and doubting my future, then it's obviously not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to keep holding myself back and holding myself under, drowning myself, if you will. And that's no way to live. That's no way to live at all. I'd rather live in some manic delusion than feel like I'm just drowning myself in negative thoughts, you know? So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is just a delusion that I have some sort of some sort of life to live, some sort of, I don't know, hope. Maybe I'm just delusional. Maybe I'm right. Maybe things will work out for me. Maybe my life will not be a series of unfortunate events like it seemingly has been for a while now. Not to say there's not been good things. There's been lots of good things, but there's always two sides of every coin. Every good thing comes with its bad things too. And so I would like to just have some good things and just keep those good things and keep a good life. I'd like to just live a good life, I think. That'd be that'd be ideal. Not that my life is bad, but it's interesting for sure. You know, things are very strange right now. I'm well, I guess not much has changed in that aspect that I'm unsure of the future. That has kind of been a reoccurring problem all of my life that I am just unsure and seemingly just gets worse and worse and worse, but someday, someday it'll work out. It'll get better. I just have a gut feeling. Maybe it's my gut, maybe it's in my heart. I don't know. Maybe, like I said before, I'm just delusionally optimistic and I'm holding on to some false hope or some pipe dream that I will I will fix my life or I will be saved, not by anybody by any means, but just in, the aspect of knowing what to do and where to go and, something will swoop along the road and point me in the right direction, hopefully, maybe. I guess we don't know until we get there, right? But for now, I just will keep hoping and keep trying, and someday it'll all work out. Thanks for listening. I love you.